Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're going to uncover a really cool secret about fractions and decimals. It's a super easy trick that's going to make your math life so much easier. You ready? Let's dive in.
So, let's start with a puzzle. Have you ever noticed how some fractions are just, well, neat? Take 1/2, for instance. Boom, it's just 0.5. Simple, it stops. But then you get a fraction like 1/3, and it turns into this 0.33333, and it just goes on and on forever. Kind of messy, right? So what gives? Why are they so different? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out today. You see, it turns out these neat and messy decimals are basically from two different families. And I've got some fun names for them. I call them the stoppers and the repeaters. They do have official math names, and we'll get to those too. So check this out. Here are our two families, side by side. On the left, you've got a stopper. See? 3/4 is 0.75. It just ends clean. On the right, you have a repeater. 1/3 is 0.3333, and you see those little dots? That's math speak for this thing goes on forever. They are totally different creatures, aren't they?
Okay, let's give our first family its proper math name. The stoppers are officially called terminating decimals. Now, terminate sounds like a big, scary word, but all it means is to end. So a terminating decimal is just a decimal that stops. Simple as that. 0.5? It stops. 0.75? It stops. They're both terminating decimals.
And our second family, the repeaters? Well, their official name is, you guessed it, repeating decimals. Now these guys go on forever, which sounds kind of messy, but they're not random. Oh no, they always have a pattern. There's a number, or even a whole chunk of numbers, that just repeats over and over and over again. So that little part that repeats over and over, it actually has a name. We call it the repeating block. For example, in 0.3333, what's the repeating block? Yeah, it's just the number 3. Easy enough. What about something like 0.545454? What do you see repeating there? Yep, it's 54. The block is 54. And sometimes these blocks can get pretty long. Look at this one. It's 142857. That whole chunk of 6 numbers repeats forever. Wild, right?
Now you can probably guess that writing 0.333 with a bunch of dots gets old really fast. It's a lot of work. So, of course, mathematicians came up with a shortcut. It's a clever little trick using just a small dot. Let me show you how it works.
Okay, check this out. For 0.33333, since only the 3 is repeating, we just put one little dot right on top of the 3. That's it. For 0.545454, the block that repeats is 54. So we put a dot on the first number of the block, the 5, and the last number of the block, the 4. Now look at this last one. It's a bit different. 1.4636363. What's repeating here? It's not the 4, right? It's just the 63. So the dots go only on the 6 and the 3. See? Super easy once you know the trick.
All right, we've met our two families, but here's the million-dollar question. How can we tell if a fraction is going to be a stopper or a repeater without actually having to do all that long division? Well, my friends, it's time to learn the big secret.
So, can we just look at a fraction and predict its future? Can we know if its decimal will stop or repeat forever? The answer is absolutely yes. And it's way easier than you think. Let's uncover this mystery.
Okay, lean in close. Here's the secret. The clue, it's not in the top number of the fraction. Nope. The secret is hidden in the bottom number. And what do we call that bottom number again? That's right, the denominator. The secret is always in the denominator.
Let's be detectives for a minute. Take a look at this table with me. The first 2 fractions you'll see are our stoppers. The last 2 are repeaters. Now I want you to focus on that last column, the one that says denominators blocks. These are what we call prime factors. Think of them as the tiny basic building blocks of the number. Okay, look closely. Do you see a pattern? What's the difference between the building blocks for the stoppers and the building blocks for the repeaters? Did you spot it? Look, for our stoppers, the fractions that make neat terminating decimals, their building blocks are only 2s and 5s. That's it. But look at the repeaters. They've got other numbers crashing the party. 1/3 has a 3, 5/6 has a 3. That is the secret. It's all about the 2s and 5s.
Okay, so now that we've cracked the code, let's turn it into a solid rule. A rule that's going to work every single time. We can call it the secret denominator rule.
Here it is, 4 easy steps. You're going to want to remember these. Step 1, and this is super important, make sure the fraction is as simple as it can be. You got to simplify it first. Step 2, look at that bottom number, the denominator, and break it all the way down into its prime factors, its smallest building blocks. Step 3, just look at that list of building blocks you found. And here's the magic. Step 4, if that list has only 2s and 5s, then the decimal is going to terminate. It's going to stop. But if you see any other number in there, like a 3, a 7, an 11, anything else, it's going to be a repeater. Guaranteed.
All right, you've got the rule. You know the secret. Now let's put it to the test. We'll do a couple together. Don't worry, you've totally got this.
Okay, first up, the fraction 7 over 20. What do you think? Stopper or repeater? Let's use our new rule. Step 1. Can we simplify 7 over 20? Nope, it's already as simple as it gets. Great. Step 2. Look at the denominator, which is 20. Let's break it down. Well, 20 is 2 times 10, and 10 is 2 times 5. So the building blocks are 2, 2, and 5. Okay, step 3. Look at our list of blocks. What do we have? Just 2s and a 5. So, what does our rule tell us? If it's only 2s and 5s, it's got to be a stopper.
And let's check. If you type 7 divided by 20 into a calculator, you get 0.35. It stops. Our rule worked perfectly. Awesome job.
Okay, one more for good measure. How about 5 over 6? Stop or repeat? Let's do the steps. Step 1. Is it simplified? Yep. Step 2. The denominator is 6. What are the building blocks of 6? That's an easy one. It's just 2 times 3. Okay, step 3. Let's look at our blocks. We've got a 2, which is fine. But, we've also got a 3. And remember, any number that isn't a 2 or a 5 is a little troublemaker. So because of that 3, our rule says this one is going to repeat.
And if we check it, 5 divided by 6 is 0.83333 with the 3 repeating forever. The rule works again. It was that little troublemaker 3 that gave us the clue. See how powerful this is?
You guys did amazing today, so let's do a quick recap of the awesome math secret you just learned.
So what's the big takeaway? It's actually really simple, right? If you want to know if a fraction's decimal will stop or repeat, you don't have to do the long division anymore. All you have to do is simplify the fraction and then check the building blocks of the denominator. If those blocks are only 2s and 5s, it stops. If there's any other number in there, it's going to repeat. That's it. You're now a decimal predictor.
You know, math is just full of these cool secrets and patterns. And today, you learned one of the absolute coolest ones. You should be really proud. Thanks so much for learning with me today. Keep that curiosity going, and I'll see you for our next math adventure. Bye for now.